Hello, welcome back. I am so glad you're here with me. I'm Cielle, and what am I committed to? Why do I keep showing up? Because I just want to support y'all, humans, young adults specifically, in living lives that light you up, living lives on your own terms, which often means distinguishing what those are versus what everybody else expects of you, what society deems is going to lead to success, and learning more and more, experiencing more and more, trusting yourselves in creating lives for you, because nobody is going to know how you want to live your life as much as you do. Nobody's going to know your commitments and your values and what you're here for and what you're inspired by and passionate by, or just what's important as much as you. So that's what we're here for. And that actually reminds me of, I was just reading this. I was just reading some reflections from some students. And this one just went to my core. And they were sharing, first of all, can I just say what a gift it is that y'all are willing to share your lives with me so truthfully? I always just feel so grateful. So the student was reflecting on just something always feels missing, right? And they can't put their finger on it. That's actually, there's also always something missing, yet I can't put my finger on it. There's something missing in me that everyone else seems to possess. Now, here's the sentence that got me is, it feels as if the whole world is playing some sort of game, and I'm the only one who has not been told the rules. I think that's by design. I think we have been sold, especially young adults. Y'all are at this point where let's step back for a second. Life is a game, right? There's a variety of games. There's a societal game. There's a corporate game. There's a education game. There's the game that your parents or the adults in your family probably have for you that they're playing. And then there's your game. But we haven't necessarily talked about or shared the rules of any of these games. We don't actually talk about that. We don't even acknowledge that there's a variety of games at play. And many of the games, especially the systemic games, are not set up for individuals to thrive. Let's be really clear. Let's say that again. Many of the societal and systemic games that are being played are set up for other people to win, are set up so that they continue to profit and thrive. But they're not set up for us to thrive. And so one of the things that I know I keep talking about when I'm talking with clients or students is we are playing our own game, but we've got to start to figure out what the game is that we want to play, what the rules are. Who are we letting in? How do I win this game? And I really want to validate this sentiment, which is it feels as if the whole world is playing some sort of game, and I'm the only one who has not been told the rules. My loves, y'all are not the only ones. All of us go through this. All of us come into this life as passengers. We're like, okay, we're passing through this life, right? There's a beginning and an end. We don't know. We haven't been given the instructions. And so it all feels uncertain and scary. And in this society and in this culture that always is like, there's success and this is what success means. And you can do these things to get there. I'm wondering, whose instruction manual are you reading? And isn't it interesting that I feel like all of these instruction manuals end with y'all graduating college, right? Because that is, as we learn, I mean, as kids, right? We're going to follow. We're going to look at the adults and the people in our surroundings, and we're going to think, okay, hold on, we're going to learn from them. This is how we do society. This is how we survive. This is how we live. This is how people communicate. This is how we are in relationship with other people. So as kids, we're taking all of that information. And part of that, a lot of it is following. It's following what you would assume people with more wisdom or more knowledge say works. And a lot of that, especially as we're younger, is go to school, get good grades, graduate high school, go to college, get good grades in college, graduate college. And once you do that, success. So there's a lot of instructions, AKA expectations, set up until graduation. And then what happens once y'all walk across that stage? Are there instructions now? No. Which is probably why you're like, why does everybody seem to have gotten the instruction manual? Why does everybody seem to know what game we're playing? But I haven't been told the rules. Again, nobody's been told the rules. And it's been a fallacy. It's just been a fallacy, I think. And I hear this constantly from students. It's like, what? And oh, I love that I just had 3 ideas at the same time, which is why I went, oh. I think that is also why I probably get the most calls from previous students and new clients right after graduation. It's usually the week or 2 after graduation where I get several calls again from previous students and people wanting to talk about how hard life is and the dumps that they're in and how confused they feel, how depressed they feel. They're like, I don't know how to create the rest of my life. I've been told what to do. I have followed all the rules, the way that society, my parents, school systems have told me to live. I have done all of those things. And yet I graduated, I walked across the stage, and now what? There's no direction. I have to create that? Well, if I have to create it, how do I know which direction is right? How do I make these choices? And what's interesting is we don't have a lot of conversations and a lot of people talking about that. There's not a lot of advice. There's not a lot of wisdom being shared on the next 80 years. And that, yes, there isn't an instruction manual because there's not one game that all of us are playing. We're all playing different games. And even the people who you look to as adults and people of wisdom and whoever else, experts in the fields, y'all, we're all still trying to figure out what our games are. And our games change. They shift. My game at 20 that I was playing, which is graduating or whatever, getting my degrees, is different than at 25, was different than at 32, is different than me today at 44. I am playing a very different game than even last year. But we are not taught, that is not something that we tend to do, is have conversations that are uncomfortable, like times shift. You're allowed to change. Oh, you're allowed to go against the grain. Yes, that game that is set up by society never meant for you to thrive. Which means what? You have to do the hard work, which is hard and confusing and uncomfortable. And you're going to be steeped in discomfort and confusion as you're trying to decipher, what is it that's important to me? What kind of game do I want to play? How do I want to play it? What kind of players do I want? Who do I want to incorporate? How am I going to win this game? How will I know when this game is over and it's time to move on to the next game? And can you all see that that's all internally based? You get to decide, which I think is like the amazing good news, as in it really is all up to you. And I think it's also the scary news of it's all up to you. So I really want to validate and to honor that if you are in this state of it feels as if the whole world is playing some sort of game and I'm the only one who has not been told the rules, you are not alone. We all are in that place at a variety of times. I think some human beings never actually realize or are willing to acknowledge that they're playing other people's games, or that they haven't played their own game, or that they haven't set it up, and that they actually don't know the answers. I think that's a big thing too, y'all, is There are no universal answers that work for everyone. And let me just think of me as a parent. I want what's best for my student, my students, my kids. I want what's best for them. And if I had not worked through a variety of uncertainties for myself, if I had not been willing to put myself in positions where I can actually feel what it's like to play other people's games versus myself, if I did not put the reflection and be willing to try new things to see what games could look like for me, and then have the thousands and thousands and thousands of conversations that I've had with other people about what their games look like so I know that they are possible. If I didn't have that and I'm living life the way that it's sort of set up, I'm just going to go with the job, work till retirement, and then die. I would want better for my kids. And I think that in those cases, we abdicate our power. We abdicate our own knowledge and we say, well, society must know better. Other people must know better. And other people are saying, go to school, get good grades, get a job that's going to make a lot of money, work at a desk for however long, change careers after a certain amount of time, marry at 25, have 2.5 kids. But y'all, I think what y'all are seeing now is that even that standard, that default is very difficult now, even financially, given our state of the world and the state of our country. Right? Financial stability, the ability to even get an apartment away from parents, let alone buy, is something that for many of y'all is just unfathomable. Not because y'all have done anything wrong, but because that has gotten really difficult to do in the past 5 years since COVID. Okay. So I don't know how to end this. Really know how to end this little rant I have, or this little thing about games to play. So let me think about it for a sec. I do know now what I want to say. So with this sentence, it feels as if the whole world is playing some sort of game and I'm the only one who has not been told the rules. I would say yes, the world is playing a game. And here's the game that we're playing. The game that we're playing is we are pretending that we know the answers. We are pretending that life is not uncertain. We are playing the game of pretending that there are set levels that everybody follows. And that if you win level 1, you're going to go to level 2, and then you're going to go to level 3. You may be able to get a magic flute to get to level 5, but it works in that order, and that it's the same for everyone. And I hope y'all can start to see there's no one size fits all game that is going to work for you. And so when you step off that stage for graduation, or you get to tomorrow, or you get to wherever you are in life, and you're grasping, thinking everybody else has the answers except for me. There's these rules in the game that everybody's playing, and I don't have them. They're nervous too. They're in uncertainty too. They are looking at the rest of the world, thinking that the rest of the world has the answers, and they don't. We're all in this together. And I think that there is, at least for me, there is calm, there is some peace in accepting that things are uncertain and things are going to change, and accepting that our games are allowed to change. And while it's confronting to create your own game, to figure out what's important to you, to figure out who you are, to figure out how you want to live this life, it's going to be hard. It's going to be confronting. It's going to be confusing. It's going to take courage. It's going to take bravery to go against the grain. It's going to take a constant willingness to trust yourself. It's going to take making wrong turns and choosing differently. But in the midst of that, there can be such beauty. there can be such joy and satisfaction and pride and being able to look at yourselves in the mirror and say, I did it. I'm doing it my way. I'm trying things out. I'm being adventurous and courageous so that when you get to the end of your lives, you know you did it. You know you did it on your terms. You know that you tried the things that kept calling to you. You know that you went for the image or the feeling that you are yearning for, that just like my student said, we can't quite put our finger on, but we tend to have a direction of where we want to go, even when we don't have all the answers, because that's the thing. We don't have all the answers. This game analogy is faulty in that once we find the answers and are able to create an instruction manual, things shift. The world shifts, our age shifts, our circumstances shift, and now we're creating a new game. So I think there's also an added layer of difficulty in this game in that it's ever and always shifting, which now maybe we'll create that's a whole other segue. That's something else. In any case, thank you for being here. If you have any thoughts, I'm curious of where this led you. I'm curious what you think about life as a game. Oh my gosh, just share any of your thoughts with me, and I'll be back for more on a different topic. And also questions. So I do love answering specific questions from y'all. So if you have any questions for me that you would want me to create a video on, comment or message, and I'll do that. Okay. I hope y'all are well. And I hope that y'all are easing into and perhaps even enjoying, dare I say, enjoying this game of life that we're on.